Hey, Shabbat Shalom. We've got an unbelievably important transitional weekend this Shabbat, because today we are finishing up Yom Hashoa, commemorating the world over the 6 million who perished at the hands of the Nazis, the 6 million of our Jewish brothers and sisters who were killed simply for being Jews, and then next week we go right into Yom Ha'atzmaut, celebrating Israel's independence. And because of that close proximity, not just the week, but literally 3 years from the ashes of Auschwitz to the building of a Jewish state in the land of our forefathers, so many people, Jewish and non-Jewish alike, make the mistake of saying that we have Israel because of the Holocaust. The Holocaust created the state of Israel. And there's no question that the Holocaust helped garner the sympathies of the nations of the world to vote in favor of partition in the United Nations. But the reason we have Israel goes much deeper and much more back than the Holocaust. We have Israel because God told Abraham, Lech Lecha, go from where you are and go El Haaretz Asher Ar'eka, to the land that I will show you, which of course turned out to be Israel. The reason we have Israel today is not only because of the great pioneers and great Zionist thinkers of the 19th, 20th century, of Theodor Herzl and David Ben-Gurion. We have a modern state of Israel because of them, no question. But we have it because of 2,000 years of longing and yearning to come back to Zion. Because since we were kicked out of Israel in 70 CE by the Romans, there has never been a time when Jews weren't trying to get back to Israel. And there's never been a moment when Israel was devoid of Jews. There's always been a continued, uninterrupted presence of the Jewish people in the land of Israel for the last 2,000 years since the Romans kicked us out. So let's not make that mistake in thinking that because the Holocaust, Auschwitz, and the creation of the modern state of Israel happened in such close proximity that one is a direct result of the other. The Holocaust, of course, had something to do with it in modernity, but it goes much deeper. And as I say, it goes much farther back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to Rebecca, Rachel, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, to every single epoch in Jewish history, in our diaspora, where Jews like the Maimonides and Nachmanides, who lived 1,000 years ago, were trying and did get at some point to the land of Israel, because Israel is so much part of our destiny. It's the meeting place between ourselves and God. And so thank God we have gone from Auschwitz to Israel. But we're not in Israel because of Auschwitz. We're in Israel because we want to be there, because Israel has such incredible value. And that's why we walk around and we wear these great t-shirts. That's from the MGE March for Israel parade a couple of years ago. And remember that when you get to Israel next, and those of you watching this in Israel, God bless you for being there. And we know you're there for much more deeper reasons than simply safe haven. No question that if we had in Israel, there wouldn't have been as many Jews killed in the Shoah. There would have been a place to escape to. But let's not look at Israel as simply a place to escape to. Let's look at it for what it truly is, the place of destiny between God and the Jewish people. Shabbat Shalom.